For that, we should go back out to Catherine Herridge. I understand, Catherine, we now have the whistleblower's complaint, and I know you're putting it together right now. And
yeah, I'm going through it right now, and so just bear with me while I read through it. So, as we just reported about 10 minutes ago on your show, this is a very professionally done document, and at its core is the conversation between the president and the Ukrainian president Zelensky. The language in the complaint says that they received information. I'm quoting here: "I have received information from multiple U.S. government officials that the President of the United States is using the power of his office to solicit interference from a foreign country in the 2020 U.S. election. The interference includes, among other things, pressuring a foreign country to investigate one of the president's main domestic political rivals." Now, I'm just going to continue to another section I want to flag because, as you recall, in my first report this hour, I talked about allegations or questions over the integrity of the transcript. And here's that section. It states, "In the days following the phone call, I learned from multiple U.S. officials that senior White House officials had intervened to, quote, lock down all records of the phone call, especially the official word-for-word transcript of the call that was produced, as is customary by the White House Situation Room. This set of actions underscored to me that White House officials understood the gravity of what had transpired on the call." Then it continues, White House officials, just one last one, White House officials told me that they were directed by White House lawyers to remove the electronic transcript from the computer system in which such transcripts are typically stored for coordination, finalization, and distribution to cabinet-level officials. So it's alleging that the integrity of the transcript is not solid and that it was not handled in an appropriate fashion. And again, the information came to them through multiple U.S. government officials. And I'm still reading through, but it is a very professionally crafted document. I mean, my read is that it's someone senior within the IC, given how it's been structured, or they've been working with lawyers who are very familiar with how to handle a high-profile whistleblower complaint like this guy's.
That's right. And, Catherine, I'm looking, it is 9 pages in all. And toward the end, there is one part that is blacked out. There is one part that is obviously viewed as classified, so we're not going to see it. And it regards putting the transcript into a standalone different computer, which they worried about.
Yeah. That's right. I don't want to speculate because that's not my habit to get into the redacted. But you're flagging something important, which is there are a lot of questions that are raised in this complaint about whether the transcript was handled in a standard fashion or whether there was something irregular and deliberate about the handling of this transcript. Just for folks at home, the way it typically works is that the Situation Room is on the call, among other officials, and intelligence officers are typing in real time as the phone call unfolds. Then they take those transcripts or their records, typed records of the call, they cross-reference them, they cross-check them, they try to create a collated or final record of the phone call. But this is questioning whether all of these practices were followed in a standard way, Steve.
So if I was to summarize roughly what we seem to be gleaning from this document, it is the allegation is from multiple sources, not directly. There was a sense that the president, during that conversation, was using his office for political gain. I guess they're talking about Joe Biden, and that what we read yesterday, the 5 pages, does not comprehensively go over exactly what went on in that phone call.
Right. Actually, here's the exact language. I think we just stick to the language because of the gravity of what we're talking about right here. The whistleblower says, "I have received information from multiple U.S. government officials that the President of the United States is using the power of his office to solicit interference from a foreign government in the 2020 U.S. election." So they say, "I have received this information."
Is that illegal? Do you know?
White House officials.
Is that illegal? If he's using his power to get information about this, if it's not, if you give me this information.
That's the one thing I've skipped was law school. So I don't want to make a judgment on that. Okay.
All right. So also,
well, there's a lot to go through here, but
There is. There's 9 pages, and I know you're talking and reading at the same time, which is you're gifted in that. So this is a declassified version that you're looking at. The members of the Intel committees last night apparently had an opportunity to go and read the classified version over in the secured, the SCIF areas there on Capitol Hill. So they will, while the public version has some redactions to it, the people on the committee actually have seen the stuff that's not blacked out.
But I have to say, this is a very lightly redacted document. There are those two sections towards the end. And I find it interesting that a whistleblower complaint would have what's called a classified appendix. That's like an attachment of additional information which is sensitive. In this case, again, that goes to the idea that this is a very professional or senior person within the IC, or they had very professional help in putting the whistleblower complaint together. So it was very by design, if you will, not sort of spur of the moment. But the central allegation, the core of it is the phone call, though, and there's no transcript here. Just to be clear, this does not have the transcript. So they're talking about information that they have received from White House officials about the phone call. So that's consistent with what we've been reporting. No direct knowledge of the phone call.
Let me read you some of what the people that looked at it last night said, and I'm sure there's a political slant to